Welcome back to The Ed Show. I got to tell you, I'm on fire about this one today. I did 3 hours of radio on this, and I am trying to restrain myself right now because my friend Tom Daschle is saying that a public option must be scrapped. Daschle is pushing a bipartisan compromise. It's a plan cooked up by himself and former righty senators, Bob Dole, of course. He says, this is what he says about it. We've come too far and gained too much momentum for our efforts to fail over disagreement on one single issue. Tom, what in the heck are you talking about? I'm biting my tongue right now. Here's the deal. The American people want this. There's no, how can there be disagreement on a public option when the people have already spoken with an election and in the latest poll? Look at this latest new NBC News poll. 76% of Americans think it's important for people to have a choice of both a public and private health care plan. Now, hold it right there. If it's the day before the election and you hear on the news that 76% of the people favor this candidate, and then that candidate doesn't win, are you going to think that there's something fishy out there? 76% of the people think a public option has to be a part of this package. So here's my question. Are the Democrats going to be this spineless all the time? Are they going to have weak knees until they get maybe 65 or 70 votes? Now, when you talk about percentages, give me a number. Do you need 80% or 90% or 99% before you decide that, hey, maybe we better do this for the people? Maybe the people really have spoken. I'm telling you, the inside the Beltway folks are really misjudging what the people want, and the Democrats have got to get their act together and recognize that the American people want this. They don't care about insurance companies. They don't care about big pharma. They don't care about HMOs. They care about coverage. I tell you what, I could be really done with the Democrats if they cave, and I'm starting to think they don't want 60 votes. They don't want Al Franken in the United States Senate, because you see, then they might actually have to do something for the people. Now, joining me now is independent senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. Bernie, obviously, I'm boiling about this, and I know you're a single-payer guy. Let's put that aside. But how do you take Tom Daschle, who was going to be the secretary that deals with this, but he had some issues, of course, his statement, does it have any impact at all, and does this mean it's over for the Democrats when it comes to a public option?
Ed, you didn't have to have me on the air. You've already said it all. I have nothing more to add. You're absolutely right. The fact of the matter is, A, if you really want to solve this problem, you need a single-payer system. B, if for whatever reason you can't do that, at the very least, you need a strong public option in 50 states in this country in order to keep the private insurance companies somewhat honest, in order to give the American people a strong set of benefits that they can afford.
Senator Sanders, what is wrong with President Obama? And I'm asking that up front tonight. He's got a high approval rating. He's got 76% of the American people that want a public option. I haven't heard one Democrat in the Senate come out and say, damn it, we're going to get this because this is what the people want. No. Well, what's wrong with the Democrats?
No. Well, remember, there are two committees dealing with it. One is the Finance Committee, and I'll leave Mr. Baucus to explain his position to you. On the Health Education Committee, what you are saying is what the vast majority of us absolutely believe. Here's the bottom line. We have, with Al Franken coming on board, 60 votes. We can kill a filibuster, and we can come up with a strong piece of legislation which covers all the American people, which has a public option, and that's what we have to do. What some people are saying is, oh, we need a bipartisan piece of legislation. We have to tone it down. We have to make it more conservative, despite what the American people want. That makes no sense to me at all. The question is, can we get the 60 votes for cloture? And I think if the American people demand it, we certainly can, and then we have a strong piece of legislation.
I have to ask, Senator, can you give us an idea what life would be like if the Republicans had 60 votes?
Oh,
if the Republicans had the White House, if the Republicans had the House, and if the Republicans had 60 votes in the Senate? what do you think the country would be like? It just seems to me that the Democrats are afraid to take the Republicans to the firewall on the most important issue to American families. And I don't know, do they need 80%, 90%, 95% of the people to voice their opinion on this?
I think, Ed, you're asking exactly the right question. But I think it's not that they're afraid of Republicans. The real issue is the power and the money of the private insurance companies, of the drug companies, of the medical equipment suppliers, which then takes you right into the issue of the need for public financing of elections. But having said all of that, in terms of public policy, a strong public option is absolutely right. In terms of politics, of doing what the American people want, a strong public option is what we've got to do.
Senator Sanders, great to have you on with us tonight. You speak clarity where it needs to be spoken, my friend.
All right, keep up the good work.
All right. You bet. For more on this, let's turn to our panel. And I want to congratulate John Feehery here tonight because I've never seen 40 votes in the Senate be so powerful. You guys have got the potion over there. You can intimidate the Democrats with 40 votes.
Well, I think it's less to do with 40 votes and more to do with CBO. The real reason that they're having such trouble, the Democrats are having such trouble, is they have no real way to pay for it. And the public option you're talking about is going to cost over $1 trillion, maybe $2 trillion, and they have no way to pay for it. And that's why Max Baucus, to his credit, is trying to say, hey, listen, we got to scale this back because we don't have the money. And that's the big problem for the Democrats.
Well, don't worry about the money, John, because what we'll do is we'll call it the Iraqi health plan, because that was $1 trillion too, and then everybody will sign off on it over there.
But you're not talking about the out years. The reason we have such problems with entitlements, we're going over a financial cliff. Max Baucus understands that, and he's trying to find a way to scale this back.
John, I don't think Max Baucus understands anything about the American people. 76% of the American people want this. Bill, why do the Democrats have weak knees?
Because they're just a spineless bunch of cowards, Ed. Unlike you, if they don't take this opportunity to pass the strongest universal health care plan with universal coverage, mandatory coverage, not taxing the health care benefits, and at least a public option, they deserve to lose in 2010. And here's what bothers me, is that you've got Harry Reid, who's in charge of the Senate, and he's divided this up into two committees. One of them, Bernie Sanders and Chris Dodd, and God bless him, Teddy Kennedy. They're going in the right direction, and Max Baucus is working for the insurance companies.
Yeah.
And
they're all on the take.
Direction.
They're all on the take. Nancy Skinner, what do you make of Tom Daschle just saying that the public option's got to be scrapped? Isn't he just fueling the conservatives in this debate?
This ledge, Ed, because I'm out there with you on it. I think we all are. This is the thing that we've got to say. I don't even like the word public option because it's defining the debate as like public welfare. Call it what it is. Competition. Let the government compete with private insurers to lower the overall cost so that we can pay for it. Let's drag Harry and Louise, those TV actors in those commercials that undid Hillary Care. Let's drag them out. They're probably unemployed with no health insurance right now. Why aren't we Democrats better at the propaganda? We've got the votes, and Bernie Sanders took it out of my mouth. Public financing is what we're going to need, because if they're worried about the checks that are getting written to them, that's the cure. But let's do better at the debate, Ed.
Well, I think Harry Reid's getting weak, Bill. Come on now. I mean, Harry Reid's got to get it together.
But we've been waiting 45 years for this moment, and the Democrats have the House, they got the Senate, and they got the White House. Yeah. If they can't deliver now, Ed, they can't deliver. I mean,
you have this issue down. The conservatives are winning on this.
Well, I think, first of all, a lot of people don't want to lose their health care. They have health care.
Lose their health care?
67% of the country has health care, and they don't want to lose it. They're worried with the public option, they'll be forced into government-run health care. The big issue...
The president said, if you like your health insurance, you can keep it.
Well, I know that's what he said, but he also said that poor people won't pay higher taxes, which is what they will do if this thing goes through. They're already talking about ways to raise taxes on beer and soda. And I'll tell you what, people don't want to pay more for beer and soda. That hits poor people.
All right, we'll talk more about it. I say repeal the Bush tax cuts and we'll get this thing paid for. Coming up.